What's up, Bleacher Bums? It's CK in the house. Wednesday night, college football. It's like, everybody likes Monday night, everybody likes Thursday night NFL, but Wednesday night gets us started, and you can't have two better teams playing. Regardless of their record, I don't care. You got App State at home, Georgia State coming to town. It's going to be a shootout, guys. That's kind of where my best bet lies. But I'm going to give you the lean because, I get people asking me, why don't you do the leans also? Why don't you just give us the side because we like picking sides? So there you go. Giving you my lean. App State just isn't the App State of the past. We know that. The record proves it. Georgia State is kind of in there. They're just kind of punching along. They're not the Georgia State we've seen before. But since App State upset Texas A&M in September, it has lost 2 of 3 of its conference games and maybe isn't as good as we all thought. Because I know in the beginning of the year, we definitely thought App State was going to be in the, well into the top 25, making noise like always. But the Mountaineers could also be winless in the Sun Belt if it were not for a last-second Hail Mary against Troy that we saw. That was just a crazy game. They're now 0-3 against the spread in conference play this season while failing to cover as favorites each time. That alone should make us wary of backing App State to cover a double-digit spread since it doesn't yet have a victory by 10 points or more in FBS competition. And that's why this line makes no sense to me at all. I looked at the injury reports. There's nothing there that's standing out calling for this 10.5-point spread. There's just not. I'd be more opposed to going with App State if it was down in the single digits, real low, like 3, 3.5, maybe even 4. But 10.5, you're absolutely out of your mind. Georgia State carries a 2-game winning streak into this game after starting the season 0-4. So Georgia State isn't anything to write home about either, but the Panthers have covered in their last 2 games and recently beat Army outright despite being 8.5 point underdogs. Their offense is starting to click with a strong running game that ranks 13th nationally with 234.5 rushing yards per game. The Panthers boast a 3-headed rushing attack. Oh my God, there's that 3-headed attack again. With quarterback Darren Granger and running backs Tucker Gregg and Jameis Williams. The trio anchored Georgia State's 335 yards on the ground in his most recent win over Georgia Southern. The Panthers' rushing ability, I think, is going to be a problem from App State's defense that has struggled to stop the explosive runs this season, and it was an issue in the blown lead and loss to James Madison. Now, James Madison is coming up. They're they're like playing real football now, and they are absolutely making a statement. So, a loss to James Madison isn't all that bad, but it's a team that is also has a top 20 running game with a dual threat quarterback. Now, even though Georgia State's defense is a bit suspect, the spread is way too large for an App State squad that hasn't shown it can win by double digits at all. Plus, the road team, ready for this, guys, is 6-1 against the spread in the last 7 meetings between these schools. So, obviously, this spread is just not right for the home favorite here. It is what it is. 6-1 against the spread for the last 7 meetings. The road team has covered. So, take it for what it's worth, guys. Just a no-brainer to me. When it comes to that lean, it's a strong lean too. But your best bet, obviously, is all that's left. It's Georgia State, App State over 60.5. This makes no sense, this line. It's just too low. They're going to both score in the 30s. Somehow it's going to come out 35, 38. Will App State win? I don't know. Georgia State could pull the upset. You know what, guys? Sprinkle some on Georgia State. Sprinkle a little on the money line. It just makes sense. But with the total here, at first glance, this total may seem a tad high for two well-rested teams in midweek conference matchup. However, some key stats and trends tell a much, much different story. First off, 4 of Georgia State's last 5 games featured at least 63 points. We're only looking for 60, guys. 61 points is all we're looking for. The only one that didn't was against Army, but we know what Army is. They're that lollygag up and down the field. It's just, The Panthers have also hit the over in 3 of their 4 last games, with each total being at least 63.5 points. At kickoff, meanwhile, Appalachian State is 4-2 to the over this season, with all 3 Sun Belt matchups going over. Why do so many Georgia State and App State games end up higher scoring? Well, the Panthers, it's combined of 2 factors. They boast the 13th best rushing offense in the country that not only plays with pace, but also utilizes 3 legit running threats to keep the defense off balance, including a dual threat quarterback, which we talked about. Georgia State is averaging 33 points per game in its last 5 with this type of offense. Now, on the flip side, the Panthers defense is allowing the same 33.3 points and 438.3 total yards per game this season. This is where App State's attack can have success, especially through the air. Now, the Mountaineers put up 35.2 points per game and have the 28th best passing offense in the country, averaging 287.3 passing yards per game. At the same time, App State's defense has allowed at least 28 points in all 3 conference matchups thus far, and struggled with that dual threat quarterback already against UNC and JMU, James Madison. Put it all together, and we should see both offenses scoring 30-plus points tonight. It's laid out for you. Now, will there be some nail-biting near that fourth quarter? Probably. You may be looking somewhere in the 20s, high 20s. You'll be going, oh, my God, I need both you guys to get me a touchdown. It's not going to have a problem. I think with 7 minutes left, game's going to be close. Game may need a touchdown, maybe need a field goal, so we're going to start chipping away, and then that 60 points just becomes nothing. It becomes the past. But you may have to wait till the fourth quarter to see it. They may jump out way ahead. You might be able to live bet this thing. It could be a 21-14 first quarter. 21-14 first quarter. But you should have no problem whatsoever hitting the over on this. This is the best bet tonight. Love this. I can't wait for this game. It should be an absolutely fun game. Anyway, let's cash those tickets. Check out my NHL and NBA videos, also posted on Bleacher Bum Sports with a Z Facebook page. And I got all the details on all the games, all the leans, everything. Go check it out. But please hit like and please hit subscribe. I need to build this channel. I need your help. Thank you. Have a good night. Let's cash those tickets.